Tonight, we are digging into the Living Legends ProQuest run, and wow, there's a lot to take in. I felt like the attendance energy, hero representation, some of the surprise performances in our deck and with each other, and a few moments that made us look at each other and like, wow, did that really happen? So we're actually giving our honest thoughts on what Living Legends ProQuest was like, or felt like from the player side, the prep side, and what does this mean for the future of us taking on Living Legends side events. Whether you walked away with a prize, walked away with lessons, or just walked away tired, we're here to talk about the ProQuest Living Legends and our thoughts about it. So let's settle in and let's talk about what really went down. But I'm Will.
I'm Ning.
And before we start, Ning, what did we learn since last week?
Well, you remember it's been a few episodes ago when you played Florian for the first time and you played Decompose and you tried to do something or other that I wasn't there for, and people were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And you read the card and then you learned what Decompose meant.
Yeah, totally. Like, I
Yeah.
thought it was against Evan actually, and he was like, dude, that's not what Decompose works like. I was like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So today, during our ProQuest, I learned that reading a card is probably good instead of assuming what it does.
That's fair.
Um, yeah. So during the top four game that we played it, or that I played in, it was against Noah, who was playing Icelander, and he was
Mm.
playing Hypothermia. And based off of all the ice cards that I know, the basic effect of Hypothermia is that my cards can no longer gain Go again. But I
Mm.
thought it did the extra thing that Blizzard did, which is my Go Again cards also lose the word Go Again.
Sure.
So I kind of played around it, but the card did not actually make my cards lose Go Again if they already had Go Again. And so
So if you're
I
telling me
basically
right, hypothermia
Mhm.
on this text it says attacks you control can't gain going again. Parentheses. This does not affect attacks that naturally have go
Yes,
again.
yeah,
Close
exactly.
parentheses. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you're comparing this to the card I like to use against you all the time, which is
Blizzard.
the good
Blizzard
old
is a pain
Blizzard.
in the
Yes. Target attack loses and can't gain go again unless attacking hero pays two. And if I
yeah.
get this right, you thought that hypothermia worked like Blizzard.
Correct. And so
Gotcha.
I just never read the card. I just saw the word go again get bolded and it says you can't gain it. And for whatever reason, I thought that meant I also lost it. And so for like four turns in a row or whatever, I knew my opponent had it in his arsenal
Mhm.
and was ready to play it whenever. And in my head, I was just like, I need to play around this somehow.
Yeah.
But no, I could have just played my go again cards and everything would have been okay.
And if I remember right, you had
hmm
the ball lightnings.
Yep.
That's tough, dude.
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
So what I would do for like two or three times, I would do arc lightning, and then I would play a snatch, and then in response to that, he'd play hypothermia, so my snatch could not get go again. But
Ah,
but the correct thing to do was obviously arc lightning, and then play ball lightnings and do whatever that naturally had go again, so it didn't
yeah.
matter.
And so
Yeah.
it's funny, and we'll talk about this when we like briefly talk about our decks. That's the reason why I didn't actually have hypothermia in my deck. I liked Blizzard a lot better,
Mhm.
even though for whatever reason I thought that Blizzard worked better for the deck I was playing, and I truly didn't
Mhm.
see the value of hypothermia. So maybe my ignorance worked in my case this way.
Hypo is hypothermia an action card or instant?
It's an action card, but it's a weird one because it's an
That's
affliction aura where you play on their side. So you
yeah,
play it and it
but
goes to them.
that's the difference though,
Yeah.
because Icelander can play it as an instant, so it doesn't matter.
Mm,
But
I guess
Starvo,
that's
if you
true.
play it, you're gonna lose your turn. So
Yeah,
it's a good thing. I don't think this is very strong in Starvo. I agree.
I got you. And for the spoiler alert, so me and Ning are pretty tired. We went to ProQuest. I didn't think we were going to do fairly well. Like we thought it was going to be smaller ProQuest, and we were just hoping to kind of luckily top eight, try to grab the last swing bigs that I needed for my play set. And I knew you were just
Mhm.
there to try to grab the swing bigs. And we'll talk about that too,
Yeah.
because we went to two different ProQuests, and they both had different pricing structures. We really
hmm
like this current ProQuest's pricing structure versus the first one. for multiple reasons, and
Okay.
we'll talk about that a little bit. But okay, so you learned what hypothermia does.
Yes,
Oh man.
I sure did. That was a pretty important lesson.
And it,
But
oh
yeah.
man.
What about you?
So, in all fairness, I have found that when I read the cards, like, because I always assume I know what to do based off the picture, and it's not really a good thing to
Mhm,
assume that, because it's
mhm.
so easy to
Yeah,
like miss the details. Like, when does that trigger happen? Is it on defend, or once the defend clears, does it happen? You know, stuff like that. So you could possibly miss the triggers and actually skunk your turn a little bit. But yeah, so actually,
yeah.
I'll tell you a fun story. Then we could go into our pro quest. I was playing Evan of the Tunic Counter Gamers on Tuesday's Armory. Right, I sit down, and I think this is our second game. So he was 1-0, I was 1-0. We're playing our second game, or maybe our third. I can't remember. And he plays. I'm playing KO, Armed and Dangerous. He's playing Lyeth, the little guy from I can't remember his subtext. But I got
Mhm.
hit.
Yeah, yeah.
I got hit with Leave Them Hanging. Right now, the way Evan
Mhm,
was playing this was good, but the defensive intimidate and coming from a person that plays scaling flesh bag, defensive intimidate is ball breaking, right? So even when I let's say swung wild ride,
mhm.
he was like, before you draw and discard that card, I want you to hold priority because I might have a reaction. And then he would, as an instant, play this, taking one of the
Mhm.
cards out of my hands to intimidate later. It changes things because if I happen to have a miss, or if I happen to have the blue, or the cards I want to keep, then Evan's thought process is
Yeah,
I don't know what that top card is, but he does know one of these two cards I
yeah, yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
want. So he would wait and hold that trigger and then say, okay, well, one of
Yeah,
those two cards you want. So it's either a 33% chance or a 50% chance. And he would always grab it. I'm like, damn, you just skunked my rest of my turn. Getting at least
that's pretty good.
minimum 6 points
Yeah,
of value per this card, plus what's on top of the +4. No
yeah.
problem. First one, sure. It's ticking down.
Mhm, mhm.
Swing back. Got a nice little setup again. Leave them hanging again. Same trick. I was like, you son of a bitch. If you have it a third time, I'm going to have an issue,
Yeah,
right? I'm gonna fast forward. Two
yeah,
more
yeah,
turns
yeah.
goes by. One pops, one's down. He gets it off a third time, and I just like Evan. If it wasn't so dang crowded in this place, I would get up and walk around. This thing is like it's so good, and
Yeah,
in all reality, sometimes when I react, it's because it's kind of like I'm hamming it up a little bit. But man, this really
yeah,
is like
yeah.
such like he got over 18 points of value minimum on this card alone, right? Like it was just so good the way he played it, and it really is. You can tell that Evan has a lot of experience with like when he plays it for the best chances of him really messing up your opponent. And I think Lyeth really benefits
Mhm.
from players that know how to pilot that interaction. So with him holding that chain and just waiting,
Yeah.
well, do I want the 50% chance or the 33% chance? He was like this one,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
And just
mhm.
those slot things. Now I eventually
Yeah,
got it because I high rolled him a little bit, so
yeah.
I'll give you an example. I drew and discarded the Beast Within. Right, I had the Beast Within discard and draw like on the first turn. These things helped me out, and I kind of
Nice.
recalled, and I actually discarded exactly what I needed to draw what I needed to swing claw to finish him. Right, so it was exactly
Mhm,
what I
mhm.
needed. But like other than that, it was good. So I learned how good this card is, and ended up like the ceiling on this card is higher than people think because you just really want to
Yeah.
selectively use it. But it was really good. It makes me want to play live just for this card. Right.
It's very interesting also, just gameplay
Yeah.
aside, it's interesting that these kinds of there are some of these kinds of power cards that are super cheap to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I grabbed this one from the last armory, and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, wow. I finally got a Majestic in a Super Slam. I wonder how much this is gonna be." It's like
Like 50
59
cents.
cents.
50 cents.
Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
then, like, Cogworks Dovetail is, like, less than $1. And,
Yeah.
like, it's
Well,
very interesting that
felling
these
of
super
Plowlanders are $3 each. Felling's like
yeah,
10
yeah.
at most, maybe even less now. Like
I think
you,
it's
so
5 or
well, that's
8, something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, I'm glad LSS has definitely reprinted it, and at least we got the chase cards that are beautiful and we can chase after them. And these
Mhm,
highly
mhm.
reprinted cards are really good, or at least at the
Yeah,
floor. We all
yeah.
wish that Shelter of the Storm was the same print quality, so where it was a little easier to
Right.
grab. But
Right, right, right.
um,
Yeah, it's cool. It's,
yeah,
I'm just happy I don't have to deal with that. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So I guess let's get into the main section of this thing.
Okay.
So it's right after the procast, and we were going to do our ninja deep dive because we're at that point where we're going to continue on. We're going to put that
Yep.
off a little bit longer because next week's the Rhinar Armory deck release. So we figured let's go ahead and change, and next week
The
is
week
also
after?
Worlds. No, it should be next week. It comes out
I
next week
thought.
because it comes out the day after Worlds. So Friday, Worlds is Thursday, it
Uh,
comes out Friday.
oh,
Trust
I
me,
thought it was the week after. Got it.
it's my
Got it. No, no,
Christmas, man.
understandable.
It's my Christmas, man. I
Understandable.
am so excited. Anyways,
Yeah,
we'll talk
yeah.
about that next week. But so tonight we figured like we're going to change the topic around because we really want Evan to be here. He's our old man Evan. He knows all the ins and outs about the old heroes, the
Mhm,
ones that held,
mhm.
and his general knowledge of the game, and especially in different states of the game and different
Yep.
eras of the game is so fantastic. And we don't want to do a cast of the deep dive hero that covers LL and CC if he's not here.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
now we got like Silver Age we can cover too. So it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
But so let's talk about our current thoughts. Like, cause here's full transparency. They put out the vote, Living Legend, right? A
Mhm.
lot of people like initially wanted it, but they kept on hearing all this negative feedback that was coming from the community, the forums, other player experiences, and so I was kind of down on it too because I don't know any of the old heroes. I know all I hear is degenerate, degenerate. It's going to be over in
Yeah,
two
yeah, yeah.
turns, unfair play. But man, after playing today, and it's not because we won, but generally speaking, when I sat down in front of my opponents and they were playing heroes I really wasn't familiar with, or heroes I haven't played in such a long time because they LL'd or
Mhm,
their key component cards LL'd, I found it
mhm.
wasn't bad at all. What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think overall, it's like it's like you've never swam before, and then you go to your first swimming lesson, and then you touch the water, and the water's really cold, so you're like, I don't really want to go in,
Yeah,
but like you just dive right in. Granted, like you obviously play a deck or adjust the deck that tries to get to the same level. You go into it, it's like this isn't the worst thing in the world.
yeah.
This is kind of enjoyable. Like if you don't place too much thought into it, kind of, I think it's more fun than I initially gave it credit for. Yeah, so
I
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. And for those that I always Sam once mentioned this earlier, but timestamps down below, guys. So we're now on the main topic. Sorry if you got this far. But overall, like, so I don't think the gameplay is as bad as people think. There is a couple of asterisk around that statement, though. And, for those listeners, please put your opinion down below and see if this was your experience too, or, I'm totally speaking out the other end. Um, but when I played today, these are degenerate heroes, and I've seen degenerate things. And I'll tell you a little bit of a couple stories that was really impressive. Because I'm not playing at that high level. I am playing a strong hero, though.
Mhm.
So, but even sitting down today, like a lot of the foundational stuff we've been working on since we started this cast back in February, 2025, it kind of came into play today, right? And I talked to the community, I talked to people that piloted these decks back in the day and currently, and they told me a couple of the general things to look out for or how to play or pilot. And then I kind of learned it on the go. And, I have a hard time reading the cards before I play the cards. And even today in the first matchup, thankfully I paired up to Andrew Lawrence and he was like, no, it doesn't work that way. We'll look at the card again. And then it's
Yeah.
it's called this for a reason. And I'll get into that story in a second. But it wasn't so bad. And when they went off on the pop off turns, it was fascinating as hell, right?
Mhm, mhm,
But I didn't find like, and yes, it was degenerate, it was broken. There's nothing as strong as LL in CC, nothing near that power level. But you're also
mhm,
playing with an incredibly powerful deck as well, and it wasn't that expensive, right? We'll cover
mhm,
that. I'll
mhm.
cover why I picked my hero when we get into why select this hero section. But like, what was your general thoughts before we start deeping going into that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, pretty much all of that, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I expected some silly things to happen, and a
Mm.
lot of silly things did happen. In fairness, but theoretically, I also do the silly thing too. So
Right.
there is some sort of back and forth, and it's still flesh and blood in the sense
Yeah.
that you still have to choose your moment, unless you just decide, hey, I'm just gonna go face all the time.
Yeah.
The interesting thing though is that I played Aurora today, right? And
Yeah.
so Aurora is very much go as fast as you can, try your best, and
Mhm.
do what you can. But then you played Star, and there are other people who play Starvo, Icelander.
Mhm.
Um, And so, disruption. And so
Mm,
disruption definitely changes how you play the game
yeah.
a lot. And so there are things that just force you to slow down as well.
Yeah, and I will give credit to Evan because he was walking me through some of these LL heroes back when we were talking about with Guardian Dive class. And I was
Mm,
like, "Oh, the hero power seems strong." And Will was like, "Will, it's not the hero power alone that made this deck so good. It was the weapon."
mm,
And so then
mm,
I read the weapon. I'm like, and me and you have to talk about Winter's Well. This is for those that don't know. It's a once per turn action, three pitch. Like so, you pitch a blue card or it's three resources, and you attack. If an ice card is pitched this way, Winter's Well gains. If this hits your hero, create a frostbite token under their control. Overall, they have to pay a resource to play the next action or a card that they or activate ability. The issue was it's not strong in itself if it was attack power 3, but because it's a breakpoint of attack power 4, it's so much more ball busting than anything
mm.
else out there, right? And
Yep.
you're playing your piddly Starfall, but you're also having
Yep.
different tools, right? So like your Starfall was nothing, but it was the other lightning cards in your deck that was like Jesus, right?
Yeah. 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 So
Oh
very,
man.
very different. Very
Yeah.
different.
So, okay, let's just talk about it. Ning,
Yeah.
I'm going to cover why did he select your hero currently, and I'm going to cover why I selected Starvo. And you can take
Sure.
as much time as you need to
It's I promise you it's very simple.
I'm sure it is. And but the thing is, if this is a learning journey podcast, we always say that here, or people that are just
Yeah.
curious, I'm curious how different our mind frame going into this was versus others, right? Because I know, like
Mhm.
say Jeremy, he espouses this: play what you love, play what you're familiar
Mhm.
with, play with what you want to play with. Don't worry about the wins or losses. Just sit down and play the game, right? Have
Yep.
fun with the hero that you missed, right? And
Yep. Yep.
Jeremy, he
Yep.
won first place in the last Pro Tour, so he would
The
bring
ProQuest.
Jerome ProQuest, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. He won the ProQuest, so he couldn't play today, but he would have brought Dromai. I asked him, and he's like Dromai all the way.
Mhm.
Will.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, and Dromai's not really a meta hero. It is strong, but he would have played what he
Mhm.
loved. So you picked
Yep.
Aurora.
Yep.
Why?
It's very simple. At world premiere, my friend opened up an Aurora Marvel, and he doesn't play Flesh and Blood for the most part. He plays it to humor me. And so during literally the world premiere, he opened up a pack, and then it
Hmm.
was the adult Aurora Marvel. And so then I was like, yeah, I guess I have to main her now, right?
Hmm.
But then, like, what, 7 months later, 9 months later, Aurora LLs. And so
Hmm.
it's like, okay, well, now I can't play Aurora, but for this one, I can play her again. And so why not? And
Yeah.
also, I've been busy, so it's not like I've had a lot of time to learn somebody new or
Yeah.
do whatever. And, I think Aurora LL'd for a reason. So
Yeah.
she could perform well. And then I think during last week's, how they like show the results of
Yeah. Yeah.
Living
Yeah.
Legend PQs, there was one Aurora win. So, which signaled to me if I played Aurora, it is possible to win.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
it reminds me of the Dumb and Dumber clip where it's like,
yeah,
so do I have? She's like, it's 1 in a million. You have a chance. He's like, so you're saying I
yeah,
have a chance, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, anyways,
absolutely.
so you saw the clip and you're like, oh, that's Aurora. I can play that.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, there is one Aurora win,
Mm,
and I am mostly familiar with Aurora, what Aurora wants to do, but I wasn't familiar with the ball lightning stuff, like
mm,
all the Living Legend cards that go into it. So there was that mild learning curve, but I mean, it's kind of it definitely feels very different than
mm,
how CC Aurora played because that one, had a lot more like gone in a flash, bounce things back, do the
mm.
thing, and try to forego again. Whereas the deck that I played was more arcane damage focused or like breakpoint focused, which was
And
very interesting.
this isn't a pun, but the way you, all right, I guess I don't want to give too many spoilers out, but the way your deck played was kind of like a lightning snowball avalanche thing, where you'd start
Yeah,
off with this little ping damage, but with the lightning balls, the
hmm
card itself says like, for every lightning or elemental attack, it deals 1 additional damage, right?
yeah, yeah. How much you can let's put it on the
Yeah, yeah,
screen.
yeah, yeah.
Ball lightning. Ball
You know?
Lightning is a common card from Tales of Aria. It comes in Rainbow playset,
Yep.
where the effect is still the same. They all of them block for 0, and from blue to red, it attacks from 1 to 3.
Mm,
And so, whenever a lightning or elemental action card would deal damage to this combat chain, instead it deals that much plus 1. So, what that means
and it has
is
go again printed on it.
and it naturally has go again. In fairness, it blocks for 0. But yeah, so this ball lightning, for example, this yellow one, let's say it hits for 2, the opponent says don't block, then okay, this 2 then hits them. But because this 2 is now technically dealing damage on this combat chain, it now deals 3 total damage.
Hmm.
What's fun about this ball lightning is also, let's say you play a shock, right? So let's put on a
Yeah,
vaporized shock, for example.
love to. It's like you're
The
talking
way
dirty to me, buddy.
that so the wording of shock, and I know you have to read sideways, is these arcane cards or arcane action cards or instants or whatever, they say deal 1 arcane damage to any target. So based off of the wording of ball lightning, this doesn't have to first hit to apply 2 damage. What that means is, if ball lightning is already in play and then you play the shock, this inherently just automatically starts at 2 arcane damage. It doesn't say, hey, I'm attacking you with 1 arcane damage. Do you use AB? If you do, then nothing happens. But if you AB1, then, you know, 1 extra one will go over.
Yeah,
So this is
so
very interesting.
it's interesting because you don't realize that when you get the chain going or the snowball effect going, the avalanche, whatever you want to call it, if
Mhm,
you only bring an AB1 against rune blades, right? And it's
mhm,
very seldom you have any way of amping what
mhm.
that is, right? So your ball lightning enhanced that damage, bringing it above the AB, which is important for when you have cards like
Arc lightning.
our Channel Lightning Valley or all these
Yeah,
other cards. So,
yeah. It
all
didn't.
right.
It doesn't work with a Sting of Sorcery, which was sad to find out. But yeah, with Arc Lightning. So let's say you play 1 Arc Lightning, and then so it comes at you with, ooh, shock. So if you play 1 Arc Lightning, then it naturally
Oops.
hits you for
Boy, I'm just
1
doing everything
go
wrong.
again.
All
Yeah,
right, let's try that again.
1 arcane damage, and then you play a ball lightning after that, and
Hmm.
suddenly, because the source of the damage is from arc lightning, when ball lightnings go again triggers, it triggers arc lightning because the combat chain still exists. Because the source of the damage is an elemental runeblade card, which is arc lightning, now arc lightning does 2 damage. But then, to what Will was saying, now I play a second ball lightning.
Hmm.
So
And you run
in the
9.
second,
You run the full way rainbow.
I run full rainbow,
Hmm.
right? So once the second ball lightning hits the combat chain, suddenly you have 2 ball lightning triggers or effects that stack on top of each other,
Hmm.
which makes arc lightning go again on the second ball lightning to do 3 arcane damage, and you
Yeah.
just keep going and going and going. And it's a
Which,
lot of fun.
yeah, fun
And
if
then you
you're.
just it's
Imagine
which
my.
is yeah, it's just really funny too, because
Uh,
I'll do arc lightning, and then Will or whoever will be like, okay, you know what? I see a long combo coming. I'm gonna arcane barrier 1. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna do ball lightning, but I'm gonna put a channel lightning valley on top of this now, and you cannot AB the entire thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, and these were like little nuances that Talishar didn't pick up, or we didn't play enough games to kind of get them, or you got more familiar with the deck as the day went on. And when we
Yeah.
go over your deck design, you could like highlight that combo again because it's really important
Mhm.
for those people that want to get into the Aurora list. And we will have the lit deck list down below. And we'll give credit to where we got these ideas and who helped us too, because I know it was very important for you to grab that name. But yeah, when I
Yeah.
saw this, it was very interesting, and I didn't think about that. But someone discovered that out there, and I was like, wow, that's really good.
Mhm.
And it's kind of big brain because when I looked at these cards, I didn't see it. So that only happens really in LL in some ways, where
Yep.
it helps you start looking at these cards differently, right? And so we're still on the why select this hero. So to sum it up, you want to play Aurora. You didn't get a chance to play it because during that 9 months she took from getting 0 points to 1,000 points before the recent
Mhm.
changes LSS did, you got incredibly busy at work. I think there's some kind of
Yep.
shifts going on with your leadership team. You're having to take on more
Mhm,
workload,
mhm.
and you just simply couldn't
Yep,
get to the armories. Right? It was very seldom.
yep.
Right?
And then suddenly she out of nowhere.
Yep. And I remember you blinging out your deck because I made it. Hey, do you need another cold foil channel lightning? And you're
Yeah,
like, yeah, I
yeah,
got them
yeah.
all. So it really was for you what LSS said Living Legend was for. Those that really wanted that nostalgic moment to come out and enjoy their heroes again. So would you
Mhm.
say in that part of it, it was successful as a check?
I mean, I think overall, I would say so. I mean, at the
Hmm.
end of the day, Living Legends is just, in my mind, a for funsies event. So to to me, the
Oh,
fact that they're putting it as like a top 8 requirement in Worlds is crazy. But, the whole point is, hey, there is this format where you
mm,
can play whatever you want for the most part.
yeah,
And I think it's good to have that space
yeah.
where if before, regular CC you can't, hey, now there's a format where you can. Now, arguably some people are, they're obviously stronger than others, or it's harder
Mm,
to play this or that, and that's its own conversation. But
yeah.
hopefully in a world where you have all these champions that did get to the living legend status, they are able to fend themselves against these historical
Yeah.
giants,
And we're not
these
saying,
living legends, if you will.
yeah, we're saying that Living Legends isn't fair, right? It's not,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Not fair.
if you have access to all 40 plus heroes that they have in Flesh and Blood right now, there's only a very small select of that percentage, like maybe the top 20, 25%. So like around 10 heroes, that's probably only viable in Living Legends. That's the truth of the matter,
Mhm.
right? If
Yep.
you want to bring your Funzy deck in, and I'll shout out Sinclair right now, and he almost had me, and he brought his
Mhm.
CC Prism deck, and he brought it
Mhm.
into, there was no changes, no tomes, nothing. He just sat down, big dick energy, whipped out his Prism deck, right? And I'll give him a shout out because that was ballsy. And I was like, okay, and I know we are going to talk about our matchups later, but like, and he went to town, right? And he was doing pretty good. I think he
Did
1-2
good.
and then dropped, and then went to go get food, I guess, or went to go back to work. But yeah,
Mhm.
kudos to
Mhm.
that's a hero he loved. He wanted to come and have a good time. He had a good time. And the truth of the matter is, I was originally going to play Chain. And the reason why I was
Mhm.
picking Chain was because it was very similar to Vincent. And I don't know a lot of these new heroes, or these old heroes, I should say. But I know Vincent, and I played her for a little bit.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, Chain Vincent. Chain's a better version of Vincent. I've heard this. But when I was playing Chain, right, with all the changes in there, changes, anyways, yayo, man, I sucked, right? Like it was bad. Meaning, how bad was it? Like,
It wasn't very good.
it was
We in all
like honestly, it would have been
transparency, we've been preparing for LL for, I guess, basically the week preceding, but we would,
last week.
at least Will and I would maybe play 1 or 2 games a day during
Mm,
lunch if we got the time to do so.
yeah, it wasn't every day. So I think we averaged probably a game a day, and it was just for us
Yeah,
to be familiar with our decks. Yeah, like dude, I think it would have been more
and
effective the way I was
yeah,
playing
when you first
Chain.
played Chain, it was not good.
Yeah, I think, dude, it was like, ah, God, it's like I don't even know how to explain it because it was nothing. And then I saw Randall, older player,
Mhm,
Reinhardt player, really good mathematical player, picked up Chain and did very well with Chain.
mhm,
He lost in one of the top spots, and it's because he misplayed. I don't know the full
mhm,
story on that, but he was able to do degenerate things with Chain up to that point, and then obviously,
mhm.
so he went far.
Yeah.
I picked up, so I played Chain, didn't like the play style, not for me, couldn't figure it out. It was too big brain for me. So I was like looking around, I was like, okay, well, let's start at the top and work our way down, see what cards I have. Start at
Mhm,
Starvo.
mhm.
Don't know what Starvo did, even though we talked about it, so I knew a little bit. Sorry, guys, I'm about to cough, and I gotta probably mute this thing now. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and do it here. Ian, you're supposed to pick up the dead silence when that happens. Now it's just going to be cut out.
You're out here coughing. I'm not gonna pick up anything.
So I went to Starvo, looked at his weapon, looked at his hero build. I was like, okay. Then I looked at his cards and I was like, oh, this is Jarl, Aurora, Florian. Well, I had
Mm-hmm.
the Jarl Armory deck and some of the old cards. I played Florian for a while, and they say Florian is the best Guardian. Haha. I was like, but I
Mm-hmm.
still like when I was looking at the Starvo deck, I was like, I kind of got Florian vibes. Nothing alike, but just the vibes. Block defensively,
Mm-hmm.
swing, try to bring the rune chance.
Yep.
And so I played him. I was like, okay, this feels good. All right, this feels real good. Winter as well as Degenerate. I felt bad for Ning because he was on Aurora. Every time I slapped in, it kind of like took out like it was at least 8 points of value. 4 for the hammer, one card from your hand. And so all this was going on. And then it was like a little bit of a mixture of Guardian. Well, I was dabbling with Pleiades. So, and no lie to you or our listeners out there, Star was an inherently strong deck. There's a reason why top players play him and they go really far. I have no experience. I picked up Starvo after I failed with Chain for the first half of our week's deep dive, and I
Mm-hmm.
picked up
Mm-hmm.
Starvo in 3 days, right? And that's not
Mm-hmm.
belittling the effort my opponents put into this. I did not put the time in, and so my showing in this, and I think Ning, you made fourth, and I made seventh. So I got knocked out for me, I got knocked out in the top eight, semifinals, I guess if you want to be fancy. Ning, you got knocked out in the quarterfinals,
Yeah. Yeah.
but inherently strong character, and I did have a lot of good matchups going into it, and a lot of good tiebreakers. And the tiebreakers is actually what launched me high because the person that beat me early on was Andrew Lawrence. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so overall, I looked at the card pool. I was like, I have 90% of these cards, maybe
Yeah.
95% of these cards, and then I could borrow the rest. So that's what I did, and I played the last 3 days. Ning was like, "That's not how that card works. You got to do this," and I was like, "Why is this not working? It doesn't have go again." Ning was like, "That's because it's not an attack action
No,
card."
Will says, hey, this card should have had this effect. Talashar's bugged. And then I look at it and I said, no, it's not bugged, Will. You're just not reading the card.
What was the card? It was like current funnel.
Yeah, it was current funnel. You played the pulse of Volt Haven,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you were expecting to get go again from it, but
yeah.
pulse of so current funnel says if the last action card you played this turn was lightning,
That's
then
it.
this one and the next card gets go again. But if you read Pulse of Volthaven, if you doesn't matter what the text says, if you look at the bottom, it says it's an instant. So
So this is we were talking about this with Jeremy. So and again, Jeremy, and thank you for coming on to the podcast last week. Shout out. That conversation helped me even with this week. So I appreciate you. And again, thank you. I'll say that here. But yeah, so it's a freaking instant. So and
it's an
thank you to Ning
instant.
because Jeremy was saying like they have testing partners and you should probably get with someone. Ning is my testing partner and he helps me kind of go through these cards. Like, dude, you you rock-headed brute player, just read the card, right? Look at the text. Anyways, uh, that's so funny. But yeah, so and that's the Pulse of Haven again, Lightning Ice on the bottom.
Such a
So
pretty card too.
yeah, it's a
Uh-huh.
fantastic card. I love that card. So yeah, I picked up Starvo. Did fairly well with it, and then we'll recount some of our better games that we've had, or a couple of the points. But yeah, so
Mhm.
I got my final third card for Swing Big. You got Swing Big and Overcrowded, so we're pretty happy.
Yep. Yep.
Did you expect to do this well when you went into today? Like I didn't, right?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I mean, our mindset at the time was there's only gonna be 9 people playing.
yeah.
We'll be a shoe in for at least the top 8. We just need to win like once.
We showed up and the place was crowded, man.
Yeah. It was a lot more people than expected.
Dude, like,
Um,
yeah, because the count last week was very low. And I was like, okay, I'll sign up. So I went and signed up on Eventbrite.
mhm,
And then I went in, I was like, man, if I knew there was going to be this many people here, I would not have played. Right? Full disclosure. I am glad I
yeah.
stayed and played, like I said, because it's just another topic. So I'm pretty happy with ProQuest.
That was fun.
Portor.
It was good.
What is this?
Yeah,
ProQuest.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
ProQuest. Yeah.
God, it's like Majestic and Marvel all over again, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we've already talked a little bit about our decks, but let's go ahead and cover some of the highlights. This is also to give a credit to those people that are curious about our decks and a couple of things that you might have thought that was interesting about it. We don't have to
Mhm.
go over every card review. Some of these cards are so self-explanatory. You can also come up with some things you learned about the deck as you went through today, or that you played previously? Like you already mentioned how Aurora is different from CC to Living Legend, just based off
Yeah,
the 9 inclusions of lightning or ball lightning.
yeah.
Ning loves to play with his balls, guys. I'm just saying it right now.
Hey, you gotta get balls deep into it. You know what I'm
Dude, that is 100% the truth. All right,
saying?
so we're gonna bring this up, and we're gonna go to screen share. And Ning, take it away. Where do you want to start first, brother?
Well, I want to. Well, first of all, like I
Oh
said,
yeah,
or maybe I didn't say this. This wasn't my deck. I pulled this from somebody from the Purple Discord.
yeah. And
So
his title is Lightning Ball to the Wall, but the issue is when I saved it, it came up as ours. So let me go ahead and pull up his because it's on February.
that's all
And
right. It's the name is Preciado TCG,
okay,
and so I mean the deck functioned pretty well. Like if we look at the cards here, the the base equipment is pretty
yeah.
self-explanatory, right? You have your snappies for the go again, basic armor, face purgatory, starfall.
Let me
In
ask you a
case people
question.
don't know,
When is the Snapdragons coming in? I know it's target attack action card, but doesn't
yep.
most of your stuff have Gogan anyway? So where's this come in? What are you looking to get with the Snapdragon Scalers on this deck?
I mean, I have a lot of cards that don't have natural go again,
Oh, is it
right?
like
If
the
you look down
Snatch?
here, you have Arcanic Shockwave doesn't have natural go again.
Okay,
Your
okay.
Blurring Charges, Static Shock, Snatch.
Gotcha. Okay.
Really, those four it just depends on the situation too, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and for Arcanic Shockwave, Snatch, and Static Shock, I think it's very powerful. I just I only played Snapdragons once today,
Okay.
so that was interesting. Um, because again, I was expecting. Well, my first match was who was my first match? Golly,
That's why I pulled up my. So you know what? I
you
could.
know what? You're right.
Yeah,
Fab
yeah.
TCG.
I pulled up the matches on my phone so I could give them a proper shout out with their name. I knew some of them personally, and then some of them I did not.
Yeah. Hold on. The the poor thing is I should know everybody
So
because I don't think I played any.
for those people listening out there, when you sometimes hear the podcast and it's click, 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 it's Ning typing up things to look for the cards because he's using my screen share and he sees a little bitty cards like the micro cards here. So, he's
Yeah.
past the age of 30 now, and
Oh,
so he's got to
okay.
look at the big
Yeah.
cards. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So my first game was against Carson, who is playing Verdance,
Verdance. Yep.
and so
For
I
those,
ran.
Carson plays
Mhm.
Verdance in our normal CC Tuesday Army, Sunday Army. He's
It's
a Verdance
yeah,
player. He's not
yeah.
a Verdance. Let me pick it up because it's strong. He's been a Verdance
Oh
main
yeah,
from day one, right? He
yeah.
loves Verdance's feet. No, I'm just joking, Carson. But he loves the
Well,
redheads, right?
we don't
Wow,
know that for a fact.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, no, he's a Verdance main, and he's really strong. And so the thing about Verdance, right,
Hmm.
is you either technically speaking, you could go all wizard or you go do your earth stuff or
Yeah,
somewhere in between,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I did not realize Living Legend is pure wizard.
yeah.
However,
So
I was prepared, so I had the lightning greaves for AB1 and then the body piece, the dyadic carapace for AB2,
yeah.
but I also sideboarded in sync belows. And so that was very unfortunate because he played zero attack action cards.
You don't see that a lot with the Verdance and Living, I mean, in CC, so that's interesting.
And right. But with Living Legend, they have like the Tome of Fandals, they have
Yeah.
all these tools where they can get a bajillion health and then
Hmm.
do the amping thing and do all this stuff. So that was a very close game. Um, so all that is to say, in all my games, I didn't play Snapdragons except against the Dio, against Sean Baker, which is always a hilarious. Whenever Sean and I play, it's just the
Yeah.
funniest games known to mankind.
Like Sean is good people, man. Like when he comes out, man, he comes out with Dio energy. Like, dude, like that
Mhm,
card where it's like
mhm.
Fast and the Furious, and you think they guzzle some energy drinks. That's Sean for you, brother. And he plays
Yeah.
like he loves Dio too. He's like high on Dio all the time, right? Yeah, I remember playing him in the ProQuest, and he's like, "Will, you didn't say my name on the podcast last time when you beat me. What's up with that, dude?" Anyways, he got his revenge tonight, didn't he, Ning?
Yeah,
Anyways,
he got me. You got me good. So anyway, yeah. So Snapdragons, to go back to that, is mainly for all. There are a decent amount of cards that don't have natural go against.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to the deck list.
Okay. Boop. And then
Um,
let's go ahead.
yeah. So ball lightning, obviously we already talked about. So
Yep.
there's the 9 ball lightnings just because it's strong, right? For a lot
Yeah.
of the cards, you deal 1 extra damage. If you have like a combo turn with arc lightning, suddenly you're
Yep.
doing 2, 3, 4 arcane damage with 1 go again.
Yep.
So that's really strong. Electromagnetic somersault is obviously so strong you can only have 1 in your deck.
Yeah.
Everything, if we keep scrolling down, is pretty standard Aurora,
Yep.
right? Entwine Lightning, Flittering
Seeing a
Charge, all
sorcery, is that banned in
no,
CC? It's
I
just
don't
not you
I don't
widely
think
used,
so.
or okay.
Yeah, it's just not very well used because I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of your Runeblade heroes don't hit that often, and
Mm.
so value-wise, it's not really there.
But for
So
boom, boom, boom,
in a
boom, I got you.
yeah, in a world where you go a lot, a lot of attacks, you
Mm-hmm.
can see some value there. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool, man.
Aside from that, yeah, everything is just very standard Aurora. Nothing, no new tech here. If you
What
go
was the
into the
snags
image,
for?
the snags were for if, a new existed
Okay.
or things like that.
And how
Just
about the
some
crown?
assassin. The crown is there for your more fatiguey games
Oh,
or games where you wanted to try to get a big hand. So like I played the crown into Verdance, I think.
okay.
And because the crown is for cash in right above, right? So
So this comes in together.
yeah,
I got you.
absolutely, absolutely.
And I didn't know this, but you taught me why the balance of justice is so good in the Living Legend format. But why don't you tell the audience or the listeners?
Yeah, Balance of Justice
I
is
mean, it's
really
a good
good,
card.
and
We know it's a good card, but there's a
yeah,
specific reason why you use it.
in Living Legends, you have a lot of decks that play Art of War
Hmm.
that just draws 2 cards. You have your Dios that play High Octane, and
Hmm.
they draw a bajillion cards from that. Um, and I think that's pretty much it. Just
Yeah.
Art of War, the Tome of Fendels, the Tome Book
Hmm.
of Lights or Tome of Lights or whatever. They're all the tomes that people banned, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly they're unbanned for LL. So
And maybe the only wizard I wouldn't play this against is probably Kano because AB1's still going to be better generally. But that's
mhm.
debatable, I guess. But I would. But everything else,
But
like as you're
that's
saying,
the thing, right? With Kano, I guess he does. Does he play Tome of Fendel?
no, he doesn't. Yeah, he plays Tome of Fendel. Well, some of them do, and then he plays the
And
other
then Tome
tomes.
of Arrowwind.
Yeah,
Do those specifically say draw card?
I don't know actually. Would have to look it up. But anyways,
Anyway,
continue on.
yeah, yeah. So it's just
Evan, where
yeah,
are you? You would correct me.
yeah, just good tech
Yeah,
there.
it's a good deck, man.
Aside from that, yeah, nothing different. Oh, ninth blade of the Blood
Yep.
Oath is there for as a phantasm popper. No more, no less.
Mm,
There's no way you're ever gonna cast that normally. Your
yep.
vaporized shocks are good against rune blades, right?
Yep.
Against your chains with their shackles.
Um,
Um,
Warmongers is for chain for dash easy. Yeah.
yeah,
And I guess
exactly.
finals would probably be for the games that go long.
No, Vandals is the ones that you want to just go. So
Okay.
the Icelander games or yeah, things like that.
Got you.
Try to go as fast as you can. And I guess yeah, maybe Icelander does go a little long. It sort of yeah.
Okay. That seems good. All right. All right. So
Mhm.
overall, not major changes from when you pulled this from a lightning ball to the wall from Mr. Man's deck on the purple Discord. Not
No,
made no
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 changes
spice.
at
Okay.
all.
Well, there you guys
No.
go. But you understood why he added these cards in.
Yeah.
So there you go.
For the most part, it all made sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll cover mine then. Mine is Starvo, and compared to Jeremy's feedback for me last time, he was like, "Will, if you name your deck, it always plays better." So I named Starvo. Carry me home, because dude, I need a sweet carry this day. I didn't net deck this. I got my inspiration from different decks online, but like, so I pulled out the different equipment suite, and Starvo really favors those that knows their matchups better, like what the other heroes are trying to do. I didn't, so I kind of kept it streamlined. When I went to the tournament, I realized I forgot a few of my cards. Happens.
Mm,
So I asked around for other cards for people to help me out with. Luckily, shout out to Tommy in Siblings of Cardboard. He would let me borrow the Arcane Lantern. Jorge,
mm.
who's on this cast, let me borrow his Balance of Justice. Andrew found some cards I needed for my decks. We traded and bought some. Shout out to Evan, who broke apart his love of his life, his Lexi, to give me the rest of the cards I needed. So he was top dog for that. I think that's actually why he's home. He's kind of crying right now because he betrayed Lexi. But man,
Oh
it was
yeah, he broke up. I assume he broke up his deck for me too.
yeah, dude.
Like what, eight of my ball lightnings came from
Yeah,
him.
and I gave him the last red because I happened to have find the fourth one. Uh, so like this one, generally, I took a lot of inspiration online from different decks. Like Starva's been playing around a while, but I'm luckily very close to a man that was on this cast again. You see how we keep on bringing that back our metas because they're so good with what they do. Justin, he's a Starvo main. He was a Starvo main back in the day. When people test for LL, they asked to test against his Starvo, so he got the kind of concepts. Now he gave me the first few pointers, and I made a few changes based off the cards I couldn't get or I thought was too big brain for me. And he made some suggestions. So the deck overall changed. Overall, Balance of Justice for the same reasons you mentioned. Crown of Providence for every other deck out there, unless I had to absolutely run, the AB. My main default was the Stalagmite with this shield in Living Legends against all the aggro deck out there is so freaking good. And it's good in CC, but it's so good with stopping some of the degeneracy you see out there, which also led me to why I picked Starvo. Plays like Florian, pretty defensive. You got to just keep one card in your hand, and you can swing back with something that has a little bit of power. I feel like at minimum that this could at least play well for me. A Spring Tunic, I put in there if the game's going along. Sometimes you need pitch fodder, so that's where your gauntlets come in. Heart Ice, I didn't realize how good this card would. I know people are out there like screaming at the screen, but let me tell you, I I just sideboarded this in for the Arcane Barrier 1, not really realizing, and I'll give a shout out to my opponents when they come up, but this first ability on Heart of Ice, once per turn action, one resource, cards and activated abilities cost opposing heroes an additional one resource this turn. Go again. That was more important than I gave credit for. And as you see, I did have quick dodge flexors in here. Unfortunately, I forgot them, so I just went with the lightning greaves in every game. So as you can see, not the best boots, but they were something.
Yeah.
Hey, now my deck spice is there's a lot of one-offs. A lot of it's because it's the dual elements that you need to activate Starvos. Because with Starvo, you need the Earth, Ice, and Lightning to kind of get his abilities off. You also need cards to fuse, and that's where Volt Haven comes in. It's still a 0 for 4, but it's also this Lightning Ice instant that you really like. And it does have some text where it's only Lightning, Ice, or Elemental attack, which works with this hammer and it works with other things like Ice attacks. But generally, you're using it to kind of pump up hammer a little bit to really put pressure. I went with Boulder Drop. I kind of regret this in talking to one of the opponents that beat me. He actually doesn't like the Boulder Drop in this list either. He says there's so many other better cards I could have used. But
Mm.
again, it goes back to my default. Puts a little bit of pressure on the opponent. It has a disruptive crush attack. The biggest thing though is a one pitch or blue card pitch to play this 7, and it's a popper. So this is one of the first things that come out. I also played the Ball Lightnings. Ball Lightnings was just a chain extender, but also lightning for the elements. So I had ran around 21 elemental or lightning cards, and it made my hammer, right, elemental action card did not work
It
because
does
I
not.
felt
it- Yeah, does not work on your hammer.
it does not work on my hammer, which I found out during the tournament today when Andrew Lawrence corrected me on the turn one or game. I was like, okay, that's cool. So this card was the first one kind of out, but it did help me fuse. There's better cards to do based off that. I don't know why people use the lightning ball lightnings. I saw it in 2 of the 4 or 5 decks I was looking at, so I threw it in there because it says 0 for 3 go again. All right, I figured just kind of
Doesn't
fish out
it
more
have?
cards.
Does it have more like elemental card attack cards that you weren't using? Like
So
I see Oakenold is one of. Is
yeah,
there? Do they run more?
so yeah, and that's the thing. It would work on elemental action cards, Pulse of Fort Haven for 7 go again, which is pretty good. But yeah, so other than that, I threw in the Awakening because Justin said, dude, you're not playing Awakening, get that in there. So, and that was great. Again, another Starvo player gave me some advice about Unmovable. I went Unmovable, but he's like, the other one's a little bit better, the Turn Timber Red, because it's kind of the same blocked value, but you have to fuse a card. It costs 2. Sometimes when you're playing against like Icelander or Starvos and you have that one more resource you have to get rid of, it helps.
Mhm.
He was on the double root bound. I was because I figured there's going to be more aggro and it's a way to get the first 2 Earth cards into the Banished Zone. So Felling of the Crown came on more. And then again, if you look at my blue counts, there's three yellow Winter Bites because it's just really good value for what we needed. And it's Ice Fuse, Blizzard, because it really stops those people that like to go wide. 1 blue Cadaverous Tilling because you didn't need any more than that. It's a 2 block. This really never came up, so that's kind of a flex spot. Channel Link Frigid's Redunculus, of course, we all know what that does. So this is the basic stuff. Current Funnel is really just a lightning action card that you block with. All right, that's why I
Mhm.
figured out at the end of this. Warmonger's Diplomacy, only for the 2 matches we said. This does not go in Viserai. This goes in Chain and Dash.io only. And there's some argument to be said that this could go down to 2. Other than that, it's your basic card. Now, my bees were down here. You don't need to worry about that. There's a couple things I would change now that I played it. I understand a little bit better about what's going on out there. But overall, pretty basic deck. It was very good with what I did. It had enough different elements and the dual elements like the Pulse of Volthaven and I think it's the Pulse of
Ice and Loft.
Aizmoth. Sometimes you would have to hold these and they're only in there just for the double fuse. So you get Starvo's
Mhm.
ability off. And that's really what you're working for. Block out, swing hammer, arsenal a big card, do Starvo's ability, swing, pretty basic gameplay. Rewards people that play better as time goes on. So I picked it up. So thank you, Justin. Thank you for all the other decks I looked up online. There was a lot of them. I can't give credit to all of them because they all inspired this. But I figured all these cards were pretty easy to have. I had them on hand, and I kind of was familiar with how it should play, and it worked well. So, and that's kind of that. I to give my shout out to my matchups again. Andrew, he was on this cast before, really highly ranked Elo player when Elo was a thing. I misplayed. So I played this card, Channel My Ison. I read he's at 1 life. I had a 3 pitch, 7 attack, discard instant, discard gain 2 life. I instead decided not to use that as an attack because I thought I'm just going to go for the kill. Played this. Oh, he's going to lose life. Ning, what's it say?
It just says at the. I can't read all that.
Okay.
I think
At
it's
the
like.
start at the start of each hero's turn, they lose 1 life equal to the number of frostbites in their equipment zones. It does have Gogan, it's a 0 cost, and it has Channel Ice. Nowhere in this damn text does this say it gives the opponent a frostbite. Where does
Mhm.
that ability come from?
That's a Jarl ability from
It is a
Jarl's.
damn Jarl ability. It is not a Starvo ability. I'm expecting to kill this guy. I was like, where's your frostbite? And just like, doesn't work that way. I was like, no. And then I looked at Andrew. I was like, dude, I'm not going to be a little bitch to take this back because you know what?
Yeah.
It's a pro quest. I don't want to be like that, so I'm going to eat this mistake. Goes to the same thing I made with the mistake earlier, and this is Andrew. So I got him down to 1 life. I was pretty happy. I did high roll him. He was on the back
Mhm.
foot. He knew he was on the back foot, but he was really cool. He did help me out, kind of learning my deck as we went along, which is really cool because he didn't have to do that at all. This is a competitive game, and he was still walking me through it. He's like, doesn't play like that. You really want to do it this way, but he wasn't also helping me beat him. He was just giving me enough
Mhm.
information for me to see the different lines I could have done differently. In respect to
Mhm.
that, I don't want to take things back if I could have. And one of the triggers, because I didn't want to put him in that awkward spot of saying no, so I didn't even ask. I was like, look, dude, this is my trigger I missed. I'm only saying this because I know I missed it, and I verbally want to say that.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
Crown of Providence is when this defends, you may put a card from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck if you do draw a card. I forget this is
Mhm.
not when the combat chain closes. This is when it defends.
Mhm.
So I missed my
Yeah.
trigger, and
Well.
it's such a small thing, but again, it's Andrew's helping me out. I didn't want to win by like saying, "Dude, come on," right? Doing that one of
No.
those things. So shout out to him. He's really helped me sharpen up the deck in the first round after Ning helped me read the cards. My second match, Evan Dasher. I played Justin's Kano back in the day. I'm a little familiar with what Kano does, but dude, I played it once and I had no clue because I
Mhm,
was so new to the game. I had no clue what was going on. Thankfully,
mhm.
Evan himself, he didn't help me beat me, but I just got on asking, why is Heart of Ice so good? Why would I want to do this to mess up a Kano's turn? Like, if I pitch it now, it does do absolutely nothing. You could just interrupt me. And he kept on looking at me like, and he was like, look, you do it in the beginning of your turn, it helps. Right? That's all he would say. If you do it in the beginning of the turn, it helps. I was like, how's it help? And then I realized, like, halfway through the turn, after I kept on taking damage, after he kept on going all these, Kano degenerate stuff, I finally got it. You pitch your red, and you hold your blues. And if he goes
Mhm,
off, you use your blues to stop Aether Wildfire. That is what this card does. For everyone out there, if you have Hard Ice, you do it in the beginning, right? And that way you still have 3 cards, not 2, because you have to pitch and swing, right? You have 3 cards in order to weather through that arcane damage thing that he does and blows up. Do that in the beginning. It is super important. And even if you have to use 2, you still got 1 blue, or it could be you use 2 yellow, 1 yellow, and 1 blue to swing your Winter Swell to always pit pressure. I respected Kano. I respect the Icelander. I
mhm,
had so much A, B, and the thing is, I misplayed early, and I gave him my shock charmers way too soon. Right, and
mhm.
he was licking his lips like he was a damn dog looking at that bone. He was like, "Got your shock charmers?" I was like, "I made a mistake. He's about to kill
Yep.
me." Luckily,
Mhm,
I drew Triptolite Fantastic, and I IP'd myself several turns until he went to another other wildfire, and that's the only reason why it saved my life, because I knew he was about to do another one. And so this
mhm,
one, and so I could have shut him down earlier. I do think Starvo was favored into that matchup now that I know the matchup. But again, the only reason why I won is we went to time. He decked himself, right?
mhm,
Didn't have enough
mhm,
firepower to kill me the rest of the way. I was at 6 life. He was at 15, and time was called. He was like, he just gave me the win. He's like, dude, you got it. I have no more threats in my deck. Shout out to Evan. Really cool matchup. Played Sinclair. I already talked about BDE Sinclair bringing out CC Prism and just having a good
mhm,
time.
mhm,
He didn't get the ALS loop on me because I high rolled the hell out of him, and I was able to get it. He turned 1. I went first. He turned 1, pit library down, and he drew, and we went long. We went to time as well. I scraped that through. Philip, he was the other Starvo that was in the room. He soundly beat me. But again, he was the one that pointing out a lot of the nuances of my deck and why, you know, I messed up so bad. I thought I had, 2 Earth cards in the thing, so I pit the felling down, what's his like
mhm.
all this, and after I did Starvo's ability, went to go do it, I realized I didn't have the Earth cards. And this is like several mistakes I do. I did that to you too, Ning, and you're like, yeah,
Mhm.
not on our matchup this game, but like on Talishar or something.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
oh, it
yeah.
doesn't work that way. So I lost that because I misplayed like 2 or 3 big turns, and like he's a Starvo main, been Starvo main, so he knew all the ins out, and he built his deck a little differently.
Mhm, mhm.
Then we cut to top 8, and in the history of all my flesh and blood, when I get to cut to top 8, and this is my 3rd one in the short time I've been trying to aggressively get better, I get team killed again by Ning. So either way, one of us went to top 4, the other one stayed at bottom 8 or top 8. Ning got the win. And my big claim to fame on this matchup was I Oakenolda dominated for 15 with the Volt Haven. It brought the game back equal. He was able to get out his power cards more. He was playing with his ball so effectively that he's just stocked 3 of them on one chain with the Channel Lightning Valley and just killed me after 2 turns of that. So it's very hard because even with the extra card he was grabbing, even if I stopped him or slowed him down, he was able to block out, use his equipment very efficiently. I lost my shield pretty early, and I didn't just get another Starvo power turn. I only did Starvo once that game. Very
Yeah.
rare, but that once brought him down to my level, and then he was able to close it out. So, and then he went on and Ning, anything you
I
wanted to add to
feel
that, or anything you want to kind of wrap up with
No,
yours?
yeah. I mean, I can go through mine, right? So
Yeah,
my
yeah,
first game was against Carson, like we mentioned, Verdance, and then the second one was against Sinclair, so the Prism.
yep.
So what's funny for that is my mindset was this is Living Legend, and I saw Prism, and so I sideboarded for OG Prism
Mm,
because I don't recognize what Prism's title is or
yeah.
whatever. and it was like flipped on the Marvel side, on which honestly should have been the first clue. But I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked at the weapon. I'm like, oh, that's the heavy hitters one. How interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. OG Prism, why not? And so anyway, I played through. I'm like, huh, this feels like new Prism for some reason. And then finally, I confirmed. I was like, you know what? I guess this is new Prism.
Yeah.
So
Sixer's a
anyway,
champ.
yeah,
Check out his channel, by the way. He does good stuff over there. He covers
uh,
general card game content, but he does do a little flesh split stuff too. And he does check out his marketplace too. Same to the Sitcast, man. We're not affiliated, but go through their site or their YouTube page to buy your cards from TCG Player. I'll give him a shout out. Shoot, as much
yeah,
as we hang
yeah,
out with
yeah,
them. So
yeah. Why the heck not?
yeah. So
Um,
you got you got
so that
you
was
got good old
good.
Sinclair.
Got good old Sinclair. The arc lightning, ball lightning combo was really good because he
Hmm.
like you, he only brought AB1, and
Yeah. Who brings more
because
than
you can
AB
only
one against? Yeah.
a room blade, right?
Yeah.
So once you get through the first AB, then it just chews through the ward that sits
Yeah.
there. So that's really nice. My third game was against Andrew Lorenz and against his Viserai, and he brought zero AB. But boy howdy, his big turn with the band
Oh,
equipment, was it blood, what, Skeleta or
dude.
whatever it's called?
I couldn't understand why that was so good. Bloodshot Skeleton. I could not
Yeah,
understand why that was so good until Andrew showed me and damn near wiped me out one turn from 40 life, got me down to like maybe 15 or 8. I can't remember. It was something bad. I'm gonna bring it up because, like, it maybe
yeah.
people that are experienced in this game, been around a long time, they probably either forgot or don't remember, or when they're listening, they're like, "Dude, come on, you can read the card." Well, this card's a
Mhm.
lot better than I would have thought, overall. Just, I don't know. So, all right, Bloodsheet Skeleton, right? You want to read it out real quick, and then you could tell us about
Sure.
Andrew's turn?
It's a temper chess piece that blocks for 2. It has an instant ability, destroy this. The next attack action card and non-attack action card you play this turn gets this card, costs 1 less to play for each rune chant you control.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is if he has many a rune chants, suddenly his next cards, his attack action card and non-attack action cards separately now cost significantly less. This is like
Was this the
Savage
other one he
Sash
was
on
doing?
steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he also played Sonata Arcanix, which is block 2 action card as XX. Reveal the top X plus 3 cards of your deck. For each non attack action card revealed this way, put an attack action card revealed this way into your hand. Then deal arcane damage to the target hero equal to the number of cards put into your hand this way. Shuffle, then banish them. Go again. So basically, what this is saying is for every 2 that you pay into this, you get that many plus 3 cards to look at the top. For each
Mm-hmm.
pair of attack and non-attack action cards, you deal that arcane damage to your opponent, and then you also get to keep that number of action cards in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that allows him to just go super wide based off of whatever he picks up and just do a stupid amount of damage.
Yeah.
Thankfully, when he did this on his turn, he only drew 2 attack action cards,
Oh.
which is a hilarious blessing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this is just Savage Sash on steroids, and
Yeah.
understandably why it was banned.
And the reason why he would block out, stack up his rune chances, is because when Bloodsheath Skeleton activates, this card costs 1 less, and this is a non-attack action card that he's playing this off of. So that's how he
Mhm.
got, like, let's say, he has 18 rune chance. Well, he can look at, you know, what, like
9
10,
plus 3,
13. No,
12.
it's because it's reduced by 1 too, right? So yeah, 9 plus 3, so 12. And then for every match he has, all right, he could draw all that cards into his hand, or actually attack action cards. Fucking sick.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Bloody sick, guys. But yeah, I didn't
Mhm.
understand this
Mhm.
combo until I played Living Legends. So, but continue on, Ning. All right,
To
shout
be
out to
quite
Andrew, by the way.
honest, I didn't even realize what was happening. He just like started to draw cards. I
Yeah.
knew what Sonata Arcanix did. I didn't understand how he drew so many, but I'm like, he knows how to play this game. I'll just trust
Well, for
him.
me, because I was like, can you explain that? Because we were like ahead of time. I was like, can you explain that? So he was like, yeah. So I have this. This does this. I was like, that makes sense. So,
Yeah,
and I believe that's how that worked. But again, this is a
yeah.
card that was gone before I got into the game. So
Yeah, and then suddenly he was doing 9 rune chants to me with 4 go
yep.
again, and then after that, another 4 go again with X amount of rune chants. It was
Oh man.
4 rune chants with 4 more. Yeah, it was very frightening for sure. But yeah, I was able to sneak in the win. We ended up with 3-3,
Hmm.
and then I had an arc lightning and a blue card, so then I could arc lightning, ping for 1, grasp arc knife, ping for 1 with the go again, and then
Hmm.
swing sword, which pings for 1. So
Great.
it
Fantastic.
was a very close game. So that was my third. My fourth win was against Sean Baker, the Dash IO. That one was
Get bent,
just
Sean. I'm just joking, Sean. I'm just kidding.
no,
I'm
no.
just
I
joking.
got bent. I lost.
Oh, you lost against Sean?
Uh, I did lose against Sean. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
my
yeah.
bad, Sean.
That's how I ended up as second, and he was first.
Oh, that's right. I don't know why. Oh man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Awkward.
No, it was pretty good. It was one of those games where it's like I was literally off by 1 turn to
Yeah.
win, and I didn't even need that much to get there. And he was also just doing dash IO things.
Yeah.
So he got 2 high octanes on 1 turn. So he was able to just do whatever he wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. So then me and Ying,
Yeah. Then you and me,
I told you
that
what I did. You were just able to apply the pressure more. You got the game. It's one of those
yeah,
things like I told Ning like like either way one of us goes forward. I just wanted to be able to get to the semifinals for the shiny card.
yeah,
Nink is
yeah.
100% the better player though. And I surround myself with better players, so I could grow stronger myself. Um, But in fairness, I think that game was good. I did degenerate
Mhm,
things. You did degenerate things. My Winter Swell should
mhm.
have beat you. You think it's a 70-30 matchup. I said it was more like a 40-60 at least, a 45-55 with me favored. But you were able to block out, hold your equipment better, and be able to just get the value better than I was able to. Yes, you got your
Yeah,
better cards at the right time, but everyone has access to better cards. So, what's your thoughts on our game?
yeah. Well, I think in general, Aurora does poorly against Guardians, and with the amount of disruption that Starvo normally gives, I think that just makes the situation even worse. Even if you consider the Living Legend cards
Hmm.
or unbanned cards, I just think overall you did low roll a little bit, and I medium
Happens.
high rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think like you mentioned, you only got Starvo's ability off once,
Yeah.
and then your super big turn was that plus an Oganold that did 15 damage. But then there was I don't remember if there was a follow up to that. I think that was
No.
it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately, you're well. I did do the hammer after that, the frosty hammer. Frosty hammer is
yeah.
when you actually do pitch ice to swing the frosty hammer with the frost spot token. I love that name. Shout out to
Hmm.
Andrew who was calling that. I picked up on it right away. It's cute. No, I did semi brick for Starvo, and what that looks like is you draw pretty much all earth or all ice and no big beefy attacks to go with it. So you're left with the kind of a dead hand. You try to make no disruption until the later game, stuff like that. But
Yeah,
it
yeah. I
happens. It's
mean,
game variance.
it yeah, for sure. So I think there was that, right? You had a semi low roll and I had a medium to high
Mm,
roll. But I mean, I was desperate enough to block your hammer with my equipment, which
mm.
was never something you really want to see, I suppose.
Well, unless you're
Um,
me, then I always wanted to see
yeah,
it.
yeah. And so, but yeah, we got there, and that was
Yeah,
good. And then the Icelander game against Noah
yeah,
for the top 4, which was the me not actually reading what hypothermia did,
yeah.
even though he used it 3 times against me.
Real
But yeah,
quick,
overall, good
I'm
showing.
going. I'm going to shout out to Rob, who likes to play Teklo stuff. He's another local. He said, "Man, you never think about being adding a TLDR to your cast just so you could get to the." But I guess the big tagline here, and this is a shout out to Rob because I remember what he says. I just forget to incorporate it. It's really we should read our cards, or just play a little slower. Read everything you're not sure of. Make sure you understand it. Um,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
that way, you can play better. I think I started doing that more, at least to the point where I don't understand what's going on. Can you slow down and explain that to me? And it helped with the
Hmm.
Kano matchup
Hmm.
where I was able to pick it up quicker. It helped with the Viserai matchup. I was able to pick up that quicker. It would have helped you with your hypothermia matchup
Hmm.
to just slow down and read that card initially and not assume what that card did. Even though we looked at the
Yep.
pictures and you saw the effect and whatnot, it just would have helped. So I think that's also a big
Yeah.
point that people
TLDR, read
have.
the
Yeah,
card. Slow
yeah.
down. Especially if you're an aggro, hero. Just slow down, read the
Yep, yep,
card.
yep.
You got time.
Yeah. Also, real quick, while we're talking about Rob, he has a pretty cool site, the Fabbazaar, right? And we are loving the site. He's actually pitched to a couple stores too. I'm going to start including the link down in our show notes. I meant to talk to Evan about this because I really want people using it more. It's where you put all your trade bait and kind of connect to other people, and you could offer trades to them. So it's a way to offer the trading based off of your binder and a way to like connect with people. So he does good work. I'm gonna start including the link to that so people could like play around with it. It's
Yep.
free as of right now. Rob's a
Yep.
programmer by design, and he really loves this game as much as we do. One day we'll have to have him on so he could talk about his finalized project here. But locals love it. We're
I
using it, so
know. Yeah, I know it's been picking up steam too on the
yeah.
Purple Discord. A lot of people are starting to use that
Yeah,
there
yeah.
too.
So yeah, we'll put it down, and if you guys are stuck sticking with us, give him a give it get a follow, or he's not channel, but give it a little review. He's been working on this by himself as after work project, and it is coming along. He has made night and day different strides on it from like 0, 1, whatever they call what programs call the first version versus now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's always updating it. So, and he's always getting feedback. I know a lot of people that travel love using it just to keep track of their binders stuff. He's always doing like different things. He's like, hey, so what's a different search value I can? I was like, well, try this. He was like, let me see if I can do it, and he'll type it up, and if he can't, next week's like, try it again. He does it, and he comes up. So he's always quick and always operating on it. So
Yep.
I'll put that link down below. But all right, Ning. Now we get to it. We said this before, but let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when I was approaching this format, LL. Me and you, we play a lot of the side events, and I think next time with SCG Con Atlanta coming up, I know people are going to Worlds, you're going to Seattle. There's going to be side events. Living Legend is going
Mm-hmm.
to be at these side events, right? I think that's why we really wanted to dabble our toes to kind of get a deck just somewhat ready, so we're ready to play these side events. If there's no other events around that we want to play,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, man? You going to sign up for these side events now?
I think I wouldn't mind, assuming there's nothing better, mind you, but like, yeah, I think if there is some space and time and it's like, oh yeah, sure, why the heck not? Yeah,
Yeah,
why not? I mean, as we saw, like for PQ, my Aurora deck, well, I say mine, the one that this other guy built up, but like it performed pretty well, and
yeah.
I think it could have performed better if I was a little smarter about it.
Mm,
So I think it's got legs, so yeah, I think not too shabby.
yeah.
I'd do it.
And I think the same thing for me. And I guess the bottom line is this. I listen to a lot of podcasts traveling to work, 2.5 hour commute a day. Does that mean you work at home, so you don't know about this, but it sucks. I know you
Mm.
know, but
I know about it. I
yeah.
just don't know. I don't have to experience it.
But like, I am surprised by how much hate it gets. But here's the thing: I understand why they get the hate because when you
Hmm.
pit a format like this, where you want to play the hero you want to play, but you're forced into a very select few heroes that might not interest you, and then you're saying in order to be the best in the world, you have to actually play this format that was never recognized as a very competitive format in the first place, and to spring it on the flesh and blood community with not a lot of build up or data tracking kind of play and test results. Yeah, you can test it, but they like people love to look at what's working, what's not, and tweaking from that. And so I think that was major people's hang up with LL at Worlds. I think the format.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but technically speaking, this has been the format that LSS has been pitching this
Yep.
entire time,
Do you
right?
think it needs work?
Oh yeah, for sure. I
100%.
mean, I think there's definitely some balancing act. I don't know how to do it, obviously,
Hmm.
but like there needs to be some more balancing one way or another, where you're not stripping away necessarily the power from the heroes and formats, but you need to somehow make people more equal so that
Yeah.
everybody can have the same amount of fun
Yeah.
while all doing the same amount of broken things, if that makes sense.
And some heroes just naturally won't ever be that high, right?
Yeah,
As some of these
yeah, yeah.
top performing heroes like Starvo. Let's say
Hmm.
Olympia. I don't ever see Olympia matching in the same ring as Starvo. That's the truth of the
Mhm,
matter.
mhm,
Maybe.
mhm.
I mean, they might like have different swings and attacks, but
Yeah, yeah. Give
he,
it 5 years, you know?
yeah.
Maybe there'll be some Olympia love in there.
So and maybe that's the thing. You really are streamlined to actually be competitive at the Worlds. You have to get good with eight heroes, eight different types of heroes.
Mhm.
But really, it's going to come down to Starvo, Visceroid, Dash. But now you got Aurora, Marlin's making a scene. Holy crap!
Briars. Yeah.
Briar's still good. So like you do have some play, but it's not the heroes that they're used to or that they want to play. And I get that. And then you put it into a swingy kind of format because it's still I don't want to say it's pure luck based like a lot of people say. Some matchups are
Mhm,
just bad matchups. You have almost a 0% chance of winning or a 20% chance.
mhm,
You see
mhm.
that in CC, but not as much. So I can see why people complain about it in Worlds. I actually think the format's funner than people give it credit for, and I can see why people that
Yes.
like Living Legend
Yeah.
likes to play Living Legend. And I think a
Yep.
lot of people just hear about the hate that Living Legend had and chose not to play it. Right? And
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, though. I think this is the same initial reason that you and I didn't play Living Legend. It
mhm,
wasn't necessarily because of the hate, it's because there was a lot of old things, like old cards and old heroes and a
mm.
lot of stuff that happened before our time, and therefore we were hesitant to jump into the ring where all these, older heroes that reigned supreme back in the day were doing, and we just did not want to deal with it at the time.
Well, yeah, I guess in fairness, I connotated it to what's happening currently, but I think you're right. Previously, before all this came
Yeah.
out, like it's easy to not remember what you just said, Ning. That's a very good point.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I think that's also it too, because we heard the horror stories that these heroes had. Oh, you should have been here in
Yeah,
Starvo. This thing
yeah,
was
yeah.
so, and so we're like, I don't want to play that
Yeah, it's
crap.
like, yeah, and more important, it's like I don't want to learn all of that. That's its own conversation, right?
Now, to our listeners out there, he didn't mean about this is a learning journey podcast, but sometimes we're just tired. We just
We're
want to
just
play.
tired. Yeah, yeah. We just want to play the regular format. This is a
Yeah,
whole brand new format.
it's true. I can see that. So bandwidth is limited. People that usually play this game have very demanding jobs in their own right, families. So, why couldn't it be CC and draft? I get that. I do like how
Yeah.
LSS did try to shake it up a little bit. I do think next year will be Silver Age and CC. I mean, why
Mhm.
wouldn't it be? And that's a little bit more closely aligned with what people expect in CC. So, but overall, if you have never played Living Legend, hop on Talistar, give it a try. I think people will enjoy it a lot more than they think. Or side events at event, you got some dead time while your friends are off doing whatever they
Mhm.
want. Join a side event. Sometimes you get the tickets, and sometimes you get better pricing. So, and not a lot of
Yep.
people join this because they're so afraid of Living Legend. It wasn't that
Yep.
bad.
Nope.
Yeah,
It was just overall, it was a good time. I do it again.
yeah. I had fun. I had fun, and
Especially if some side event, join with a buddy, have a good time
yeah.
together.
And dude, I am freaking tired, man. I got the brain
Mhm.
fatigue right here because we've been going at it
Mhm.
since like nonstop.
Yep.
I get choked up.
Yep. Hey, we did good. You and I, we did good.
High five across the screen,
Hey,
and high five to our viewers for sticking with
good
us.
job. You stayed.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You want to shout out the socials, or should I?
You go for it.
Okay. So the socials, you can find us or contact us on Discord. It's midnight_wi11. On Facebook, I'm midwe now. MID space WI. It's abbreviated version of Midnight Will, of course, because you know I had to share some stuff, and people at my work and my personal life don't cross. I like to keep things separate.
Mm,
So I have a picture of a cat both on Discord and a picture of a cat on Facebook. It's the cat that recently we had to put down, so RIP Sophie. But always keep in mind, every turn is a decision, every decision is a story, and don't forget your damn Tunic Counter.